Hi everyone. We are here with chapter 23, The Rescue Begins. And it too is a bit of a long chapter. And because I'm using my iPad, I'm limited to 10 minutes. And so I'm going to read part of it. And then I will upload that and then I'll read the other part. So we have Poppy, Thistle, and Curly Dock ready to head off. They've actually secured some quills and are ready to try and rescue Rye. The rescue begins. How do we get to the lodge? Curly Dock asked after Poppy had given him and Thistle a lesson in the use of quills. We can swim. Can you? Not really, Poppy admitted. When I went to the lodge before, I floated on a wood chip. The beavers leave all kinds of chips around, Thistle said. I'm sure we could find one big enough to carry the three of us. The trio crept down to the edge of the pond. A few beavers were about, working. Don't let them see us, Poppy warned. Squatting down, the mice attempted to hide behind the bushes. Only when Poppy was sure they were unnoticed did she and the others scout about in search of a chip. Thistle found one near a recently chewed stump. All agreed the thin square flake would be large enough to carry the three of them. Quickly they dragged it behind a bush and hid it, then searched out wood bits to use as paddles. Then they returned to the top of the hill. Better get some rest, Poppy suggested. As soon as it gets dark, we'll go. As far as she was concerned, all was ready. But the mice had been observed. Clara Canid saw them sniffing about the edges of the pond. Suspicious, she had watched intently, but was not certain what the mice were doing. She reported what she'd seen to Mr. Canid. What do you think? She asked him. Don't know, he replied. Don't want to make a mountain out of a mouse hill. Still, you might have a point. Give them an inch, these mice take a mile. The mice I saw were looking for something. What do you think it was? Mr. Canid asked. I'm not sure. Did you block that vent hole? Piece of cake. Did you make another? Needle in a haystack. But look here, sweetheart. The less trouble, the better. We've been coasting along easy. We don't want to slip on banana peels now. So if you want to keep on watch, as far as I'm concerned, that's frosting on the cake. With that, Mr. Canid swam away. Well, I don't like it, Clara said to herself. I'm going to patrol the pond tonight. The farewells Thistle and Curly Dock made to their families that night were brief and painful. The elder mice tried to be kind, but could do little to hide their apprehension. For their part, the youngsters tried to appear bold, but felt only uneasy. Poppy, uncomfortable with the family's disapproval, kept away entirely. It was dark when the three mice went down to the pond. The vine hung in a coil around Poppy's neck like a life preserver. Once they located the wood chip they had hidden, they pushed it into the water and then jumped on. In moments they were afloat, moving slowly toward the lodge. The three mice knelt on the wood chip and paddled steadily. Thistle and Curly Dock were up front. Poppy was in the rear. Now and again she stood tall and peered into the dark, trying to keep them on course. The beavers' main lodge, though visible, was distant. To the left, she called. To the right. Thistle and Curly Dock would shift their paddles accordingly. Other than normal night sounds, all was quiet. The moon kept slipping in and out behind clouds. A breeze from the north had begun to blow, bringing early hints of the autumn yet to come. It made the pond surface choppy. Thistle's whispered voice broke through the dark. I think I heard something. The mice stopped paddling. Poppy's ears twitched. She was not sure, but she too had caught a faint splashing sound off to her left. The noise, however, did not return. I think we're all right, she called, keeping her voice low. The three resumed their paddling. As they approached the lodge, Curly Dock whispered, Is that it? I'm pretty sure, Poppy replied. Which side should we aim for? Thistle wanted to know. Doesn't matter, Poppy said. We'll be crawling to the vent hole on top. Let's go. Keep your voices low. They dipped their paddles and moved forward again. Even as they did, a great swell of water lifted their raft, causing it to slide back as if it were rolling down a hill. The next moment, Clara Canid, orange teeth glowing, rose up above them. "I thought I'd heard something," she barked. "What are you doing here? What are you trying to do?" "Back paddle," Poppy yelled frantically and plunged her oar deep into the water as if she could scoop them clear. Do you see Clara up high? Thistle tried too, but with no more success. Worse, when she hauled back, the strain was so great her paddle snapped in two. Curly Dock, working frantically, only stirred the foaming waters. With the raft rocking wildly, Thistle slipped. She did manage to hang on by the tips of her paws, but her hold was precarious. Curly Dock, seeing her danger, attempted to reach for her, but lost his step on the listing raft and flipped over her head into the water. "Curly Dock!" Thistle screamed. She twisted to see where he had gone. He had vanished. Clara, meanwhile, swung herself completely around and lifted her tail. "Look out!" Poppy cried. Poppy saw Thistle attempt to draw her quill. It caused her to lose her grip. She fell back into the water, and she too disappeared. As the beaver's tail struck, Poppy clung to the raft. The tail hit the raft's front end, causing it to flip up and over like a catapult, flinging Poppy into the air. And I'm going to stop there. I want you to think about the word catapult. I hope if you are staying with us, this matches up with a project in science next week that Mrs. Harmon is getting ready for us. And it's a catapult challenge. And so, anyway, think about the word catapult. I'm going to stop now and then I'll come back and finish the chapter.